Hey, well, it's pretty early. It's Bob for Bob's Daily Devo, and I thought I would just show you the other side of it. It's about 47 degrees, and I'm here at the Casa del Green mobile unit. Even a sense of humor at this time of morning, it's crazy. But I wanted to say that this 290 business is just... I was looking back at some of the original videos from 2016, and I was just growing my beard. My beard was long, and I was, singing about Go Up Yonder, and some of these old videos I did were just like so sweet and so energetic. And at this point, it's got to be the 18th of February 2019, and all of a sudden, 2017, the fall of 2017, the DCFS decided that, and so I was in my car, and I've been in my car all this time, and I have my clothes, I've got my little systems in place here, and let's see if I can show you. My dream to go get my doctorate is kind of on hold for now. I got my little banner, though. I do have that. I have my Cal State LA banner, and still have my flag, and but it's a constant dread now, a constant fear, because I live with constant awareness that anything could go wrong. Anything could just be used just to get me, and it's very, very scary and sad. And people say, well, why don't you just, well, if you're one of these registered people, you don't have that ability. You cannot just do whatever you want to do. I signed the paper that I'm transient. That's it. I'm transient. I've got to be in my car, and I've even gone so far as I have the EverDrive app, which I snap a screenshot of. I've also got the Waze program, and I take pictures, and the EverDrive app makes it so I can have, it shows the street I'm on, it shows everything, because there's people that are just so hateful and so, beyond, and one time, a year or two ago, they were claiming that I was in Palm Springs, and so I had all my EverDrive deals, and I actually filled out an affidavit and had it notarized, and I was able to show them that clearly that I was absolutely not anywhere near whatever the city that the hater was in, claiming that I was nowhere near that city, and the EverDrive app showed that, because I have basically an electronic tracking device on me at all times with my phone, because the EverDrive and the Waze programs records every nuance of my life and where I am and what I'm doing. So I think that's a wise thing, because even right now, if they were to say, "Oh, well, you're not really, staying in your car. You're really, even if my device was somehow scooped up out of my presence, the apps would still be holding the information. So my attorney could access the app and download the information, and it would all be secured there. So I can't really change it. Once I stayed overnight, tonight I'm here in Baldwin Park, and I'm in the In-N-Out Burger. No, I'm not actually inside the In-N-Out Burger. I'm on the street just south of it. It's a nice neighborhood here, and I figure, well, the In-N-Out Burger is a real safe place, because there's, the street parking is legal. That's important. You're going to be legal parking. And then, they got university right there, and they've got the you know, it's not a real university. It's the in Arboretum. It's where they do the trains, the company store, they call it now. So I don't know if they actually do training there anymore, but they, years ago, back in must have been 1990, about 1990. I actually was, came here. I come here from Van Nuys, California. And I remember driving late at night, and I had in my mind I was going to be an In-N-Out Burger guy, and it turned out that the job was way too stressful. I didn't handle stress. I still have a hard time with stress. That's one of my weak points. If you want to say, "Oh, where's Mr. Bob's weak point?" It would be the stress. If things get stressful, I go, and I'm not like Leonard Nimoy, who's just, "Well, Captain." And my wife is very, very, she just calls it self-control. Well, I got self-control. But, so, good for her. She's got that gift. So I got to do something last night, which was amazing. One of the advantages of being in the transient lifestyle, of the camping lifestyle, of the urban. Remember, it's about 3:50, 4 o'clock. It's real early. But I was there last night. I had to move for my family from one place to another, and I have in-laws which are really, really sweet, and they actually had rented a U-Haul truck. And they rented this U-Haul truck, and they didn't ask me. They just did it, and I was kind of like trying to catch up and get back behind and catch up. And so I worked on Saturday down at the as an usher, and then this is my red shirt for the Lunch Club. So but last night I took him to Pinnacle Peak. Have you ever been at the Pinnacle Peak? It's really cool. And Sunday night was just happening. So we got the seats there, and I was sat there and I thought, wow. I remember when my father-in-law, pretty much my whole life, I was always like, very, very conservative with my cash. I'm really tired. Of course I should be tired. I worked all day. I was moving and hustling. I moved a big refrigerator, and I moved beds and the giant bed, and got the refrigerator out of the house and into the house, and got all this stuff done. So remember last night just thinking, well, whatever they want to have, I got a big slather of ribs, and we got a big steak, and we cut it in half, and we just and then Mama, she got a big, she got a big deal, and then her son didn't want to come, so he's taking home boxes. Boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff, and guess what? I was the bigwig. I was the guy I made the decisions, and then we got the apple cobbler, and we got a nice scoops of ice cream on there, and we had Doc. We got a guy named Doc. He'd been there about 13 years, and he. I said, make sure we give us a good scoop of ice cream. I like ice cream. So he was really good. He came through the ice cream, and then when it came, I asked for 3 bowls and 3 spoons, and I don't have any more things where I'm just like Mr. Shy Guy, and so when it came, I started dividing the whole thing up and scooping it out family style, and and it was really, really, really awesome. It was fantastic. And so everybody had their dessert, and I had my dessert, and I had all kinds of barbecue sauce and beans and onions and sugar and pepper. I just poured the pepper on, and it was really, really, had a great time. And I thought, wow, I get to be the host. I get to be like my father-in-law, Buddy. Buddy was my father-in-law, and I remember he took us to the Northwoods Inn, and it was like, wow. And this wasn't when I was 5 years old. This is like, I was probably 50, almost 50, and it's like, wow. He would take us out and he would treat, and it's like, he's retired, of course, helps you retired. In the middle of raising kids and stuff is kind of tough. So with this, if I wasn't living, in my car, and I don't live in my car. I live out and I go and I do, and I've got a new thing coming up next week where I get to basically be like a high-end security guy, and that's amazing. And I've got one little twist. On Thursday, and I'm supposed to be out at the ushering job, and I've got to be there at 5. I got to be there at 6, and so I'm going to have to maybe just announce to them that I'm running a little bit late, but I'm going to be on my way. So, all right. Well, I wanted just to point that out, because if you're a person and it's funny because during this time, the most difficult time of my life in a lot of ways, and God is faithful, God is faithful, God is faithful. I went back and I saw some of the early videos, and I thought, well, I was there at the Costa del Green, and I noticed the glass and the trees and how beautiful, and I was really like on fire. And now here it is. It's 3-4 years later, and I'm just like, I'm really wearing down thin, and I've got a situation where, you would think that the house of God would just step up and say, we're going to rescue this person who's in distress. But the fact is that people, they hear this requirement, and they just think, oh my gosh, and everybody's running for the hills. It's just like, it's just unbelievable. And so I'm sending, Pastor S the videos. I'm learning so much. Yesterday I learned about that IML program, and I'm just like, they said all the lawyers were like, it was like the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz. They didn't know what to do. They were like, well, 21 days, no 21 days. Who do you tell? I sent the paperwork to the state. They didn't want it. I said they didn't want it. Nobody wanted it. The lawyer, I didn't want it. So just give it to the law enforcement guy. And so then the sheriff or the local police guy was like, I don't want this paperwork. Well, just put it in my file. Just have it in my file, make a copy, and, And then the lawyer lady was saying, well, how much risk are you willing to take? How much risk are you willing to take? Do you want to go to prison for 10 years? Because the things are so, it's a really insane time in America. And people don't want to hear the research. They don't want to have the facts. I know that for a fact because I went to the DCFS court at Edelman's, and the woman did not want to see or hear anything. She's no. All she knew at the end of the day was she didn't want to have the 11 o'clock news, that, Judge Martha, she let a maniac loose in the community. That was her fear, So because of her fear for her own skin, she couldn't be reasonable. She couldn't look at facts. The idea that everyone who registered is a high-risk recidivist who is going to, they said yesterday that it was basically like saying that if you have this requirement, if you have this registration, if you have this number that's stamped onto your soul, it's not on your soul. Thank the Lord. I don't live by this stuff. But if you have this thing stamped on your name, then people assume that you are guaranteed to be a dangerous person, that your plans in life are to do nefarious, evil things, and that's what your job is, and that's what you're required to do that. You're a registered sex offender, so you're required to do bad things. That's just your job. Your number one job is to go out and do evil and be bad, and you can't believe it when I'm walking around, and I see I see, anybody who's not 18, I'm just like, I get disgusted. I'm just so angry. I just walk as far away as I can away, and I look up and away. I just like, don't get any near. I just feel like every single child is they're worried about me. I'm worried about them. I'm like, we're just, I've told you this before, but I go to the restaurant. I stand way back. I stand way back. I stand way back, and I'm just like, I'm just like, I don't want to be anywhere near any people. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what their mothers and dads are going to do. I don't know what could possibly happen. So I'm just like, I have this really, it's a irrational, insane fear of children now. I'm just like, it really is. It's insane because I put together the societal picture of what they've put on me, with the signature. And guess what? As soon as the signature is off, as soon as the guy signs the misdemeanor's already gone. But I turned the paperwork into the Department of Justice. I did all that. But once that signature's off, and then poof, then it'll be, oh, okay. The United States legal system said that you're, so it'll be crazy. The Church of God will say, "Come on back in, buddy. We need you. We need your money. We need your time. We need you to help build the Church of God." And but now, no, we have a policy. We have a policy. We can't have anybody. No. We can't have anybody like that around the church because we might lose. We might be sued. They're so worried about some lawsuit. And I understand because I'm living with that constant fear myself. But the church doesn't want to have that fear. They don't want to live in any kind of fear. So they decide, well, you're just going to get, we're just going to kick these people out, kick them far away, arsonists and registered. So here I am. I'm living in my car, and I'm, got my cooler. Got my cooler here, and I've got my calendars, and I've got to file some receipts away. I've got, my hats here, and here's all my clothes that I have right here. I have my white shirt and my uniform for ushering, and got my black pants, and I've got several pairs of clothing. Got my painting shirt and my pants I always wear down in the wheel well here of the car, and I've got my blanket. This is my warm blanket. I've got my regular blanket here, and then I've got my warm blanket. And this one I put over the top of the other one. This, even though it's about, today is pretty warm. It's in the 40s, so I'm like, yeah, I'm like in a toasty zone. But I've been in here when it's like 32 degrees, 30, 37, 35, and it's freezing outside. Here I am, Mr. Toasty Woasty. So, and it seems crazy that nobody cares. I mean, literally, what can people do? They got to live their own lives. People are always like, how in the world do you do it? How do you possibly live in your car? I mean, I could never do that. Well, if you love your family, you'll do it. Needs a muffler. If you love your family, you do it. Because, I mean, literally, if I were to take, there's a pot of resources that we're given, that I'm given, that I earn and I'm given, and in that little pot of resources, I have that little bit of resources for my family. If I take the whole, it'd be like last night we had that dessert. Did I mention the dessert earlier? It was apple cobbler. If I just took, there was four of us basically. There was the one guy wasn't there, but it was only three of us really at the table. But if I were just to gobble up half of the resources, and then, well, what happens to the other two people? They're going to get like a little tiny portion, one little scoop. That's not right. So what I do is I don't take the resources. So for my family, I've got the 3 kids at home, and I got mama, and they need to have provision. They need to have, they need to have care and love. So if I can camp out, be a camper, be an urban camper, and let my family be provided for, and then last night had the blessing of being able to buy this fabulous dinner. I mean, it was like, if you haven't been to Pinnacle Peak, baby, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Pinnacle Peak, it's the diamond. It's the best. It's real country. It's just like they have these. I have to make sure to wear a tie next time because they have the ties. And I used to always be real big on that, but I haven't done that in a while. I just go and have dinner now. But if you have a tie, they'll cut your tie off for you. Ho 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 ho. I think they must have you. I think they must have you take the tie off and loosen it up and take it off, and or maybe they'll have you cut it yourself. I don't know what they do, but so I'm here and I'm in compliance and I'm doing all I can do. And I told you the story of the sheriff and how he was all flipped out, and I've been hearing these stories how the law enforcement is pretty irritated about this whole thing because the legislators just keep adding and adding and adding and adding more and more requirements and more things they're going to do. And oh my God, and there's this hysterical panic about, and 1948, the guy was, whatever the guy did, you figure you've been paying for your sins since 1948, and the world still today in 2019 still acts as though your heart and your intent and your life is to go out and do wrong. It's like doesn't make any sense. How can that be? How can someone still think that you're violent? Well, yeah, you're on the registry. You must be. The government said. Well, yeah, not the government. Particular legislators who work for the government, people who have designer laws, designer programs, and people who are trying to get votes, and there's people that want to make money. They want to make lots of money. They want to, because you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to go there. There's all these, and then people, how many emails do you get that say, and we'll tell you where they all are, where everybody. Well, the thing is that since a lot of people, they can't live anywhere, basically, in California they fixed that so that, I don't have any real restrictions about where I can live, but, my restriction now is that, they kicked me out of my family while they do this. They've already done the investigation. They didn't want to see the results. I went, I did everything he said, and no. They didn't want to see the results. So I have no idea what the next few months is going to be. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go home. I don't know if I'm going to still be the urban camper. I did get a place to put, 2-car garage to put stuff in, but I haven't had a chance to organize it because I'm still, I was going to build closets yesterday, but I couldn't build the closets because then the father-in-law said, hey, I just got this call in the early morning yesterday, and I was still in bed sleeping, and well, I have a truck, and I got to return the truck by 12 noon, but if you want to help me between 11:34 and like, I figured out real quick, this was not going to work. There's no way you're going to get the truck back by 12 or even 1. I mean, no. So I called the U-Haul place, and I found out how much it was, $36 extra. So I said, I'll pay the 30. Here's $40. Here's $40 cash, so you guys can relax. And, there you go. So and we ended up moving everything out of the family members' little apartment. And then I'm going to work on getting the new apartment all ready to go. And then at the end of the week, I'll go to the old apartment and get that apartment all perfect, all the little nail holes and all the little things. I'm going to mop the floors and make it just nice as can be. today, it's Monday. It's the 18th of February 2019. The next, a week from today, I got to be out in Thousand Oaks for a solid week. And it's always a place to help, I'll tell you. Well, God bless you. Love you. I pray that in Jesus' name that you would be filled and blessed. And if you're on the registry, if you're a person who is suffering, if you're living with constant fear and constant dread, if you're not alone. And RSOL, type it in and look it up on the YouTube and be encouraged, because there's people. I haven't seen anybody in the last couple of years. I mean, I type these things in, I hear about these conferences and things. It seems like it was all years ago. I don't know that anything's happening right now. I mean, it seemed like everyone was all. I did talk to the lady I saw in the video, and she was very much, no. She was very angry and, stop it, oh my God. She seemed very overwhelmed and very much like, no. It's just like, she just seemed hopeless, which was very encouraging. It's just like, we're having a conference, but it's going to be up north. And, so I tried to tell her to, tell me I would be willing to drive and go and speak and, encourage people. And, because nobody in their right mind, no one who's alive believes that rape and molestation and murder and weird crimes, nobody believes that's good. I mean, I guess I can't say nobody. There are the violent, vicious, predator felons who are out there who are literally insane. And that's what the registry is for. It's to identify those few, the creme de la creme of evil. That's what it's for, so you can know, oh, that is a registered sex offender. That guy is dangerous. That guy needs to be watched. That's what it's for. But when you're just slathering it on, a drug deal went bad, a guy was in a relationship and the girl left, and, the mother-in-law, said, oh, he did this, and, she were convicted of an annoyance, but it's already been dismissed, but you're still, I mean, the superior courts, the court system and the criminal justice system, they're happy. They've gotten their pound of flesh. They're done. I mean, they're ready. I mean, you're talking about a pound of flesh. How about your 50 pounds of flesh? No. 55, no. 100, no. 200, no. 1,000, no. 10,000, no. 100 million, no. Billion, no. That's what we're facing. We're facing people who don't ever, it's never good enough. The problem is that it hasn't happened to them. The people who are demanding and screaming and stomping and raving, they don't have to pay a thing. It's easier for them to flush people's lives away. Just flush the life away. Just put people in a car. Just let them be homeless. Let them be under a bridge. In Florida, they made so many restrictions for people that are on the registry that they were living under a bridge. No running water, no sanitation, no heat, no cool, no just all like a bunch of rabid dogs. Just, then they could point and go, look, that's where they are. They're down there. And all it takes is just a little wink. Just a little signature, just one person to go, I think he was, I met a kid. I mean, the kid was, he was under 18. He was in the class. And it was like, I guess he just turned 18, but some neighbor had said, I think he's doing something, and the 6-year-old, the 7-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 12-year-old, it's believed that 250,000 people in America are children. I have personal knowledge of a situation that happened within my scheme of reality, where I knew of a family that was affected by this, and it's just as simple as just pound on the door and police action, and you just think, this is not America. Where's the Constitution? Is this right for them to keep punishing us year after year after year, getting more and more and more and more and more and more? Never good, not good enough, not good enough. Is this legal? Is this right? Is this according to the Constitution? Well, it's just like joining Price Club. Price Club. I mean, that shows you how out of date this thinking is. There isn't even any Price Club. Now it's Costco. Costco was on Blue Buds, by the way. They mentioned it. Oh. Danny was telling Dad and Grandpa, he said, hey, don't tell me that you were just on the way to Price Club with and they're always drinking, and Blue Buds are always drinking. I don't drink, but, it's the craziest thing. I'm the guy who doesn't drink. I don't smoke. I never been to a gentleman's club. I never went to any of these. And ironically, I never went to any of these places because I felt really bad about the fact that I thought, gee, as a human red-blooded male, obviously, the female form is beautiful, and, you're curious as a man, but I just thought, no, I just, that's someone's daughter, and it just seems so sad to me. I just told my therapist, Paul Clement, he's dead now. He died years ago of a stroke or, heart attack, but I had my other therapists that were contemporary to that time, and I've told this story for years, that I just couldn't do it. I just thought, it was someone's daughter. It was it was a real person, and it was, their life, and they're before God, and the holiness and sanctity of life is so precious. And, that's the thing that's so insane, is that this mother-in-law from 1990, the early 90s, was able to write a narrative, and I didn't know anything about writing a narrative, but, she wrote this narrative, and I didn't know how to fight the narrative. I didn't even know it was a narrative. I didn't know that was like something that was done, that people would really, I was really innocent. I just had no idea. Well, people will actually write out lies and just, sign affidavits that this is absolutely true, and get my first daughter, my little girl, to just, just say, and then the more she said it, the more she believed it, false memory syndrome. So, I wanted to deal with that. I mean, it's been 30 plus years, and I'd sure like to get that straightened out. And, we have to trust God. We just have to trust God. We have to trust God. Because, I can't do anymore. I'm living in my car, and I'm just chasing down, I'm doing all I can in prioritizing, where I have to be and what I have to do. And I just can't solve everything. Had a good conversation with my brother. I have a brother, and a real brother, and not just a brother from church, but a real brother. And he was saying that he confessed to me that he had autism as a kid, and that that I had done the right thing by just holding him down and just making it. And he said that was the best thing. I was like, wow, that was nice to hear, and I was appreciative of it. And he said I was a good brother, and he thought he appreciated everything I did for him. I used to shave him and get him ready, and I wanted it to be in my wedding, my second wedding, but the night before he took off, so he had his own issues, and I thought, well, I told my brother, I said, we grew up in a really insane, tumbling home life. My whole life has been just a stir around mess of a mix, and it's a miracle I've done as well as I have. And it's funny because just a few years ago I had my own home, and it must have been 11 years ago. I had a wife and kids at home and a big house and above the Rose Bowl, and everything was looking great and awesome, and but now I'm on the curb next to In-N-Out Burger in Baldwin Park, and I'm just in my car, and I got my few possessions here, and I'm doing a video in the middle of the night and talking about what it is to keep your eyes open and be aware, and it's just crazy life. Well, I should let you go. You want to give me a call? Give me a call. 213-713-8954, 8954green@att.net. And one of the things that saves me the most is having these Makita batteries. I think I showed it to you before, but having the Makita battery Let's see if I can find one. Oh, they're all gone. They're all somewhere. But with the battery, and then I have a charger cord here, I'm able to keep the phone charged and ready to go, and then I do all my banking and all of my calendaring. I have a big calendar, not a big calendar there, but I pretty much can do life. Oh, all right. I don't know how this is encouraging you, but at least you know that it's possible to live life. And I just would like to know. I'd like the people to know out there that, all you quote church people, that this is the way you treat your brothers and sisters, is to kick them out and have them, because there's 1 million people in our country who are facing the same fears and dreads. I remember I was sent by an attorney to go out to San Bernardino to a woman and a man, and they'd lost their kids, and they weren't on the registry, but they were just going through Child Protective Services, another government agency, a rogue agency. And this poor lady had oxygen tube in her nose, and she was an attractive young person. She would seem pretty much okay to me. I mean, and her husband was there, and they had a little home, and they had the little pictures up of their kids, and I was just like, how sad. They were all by themselves and alone and cold. I just thought, what is going on with our country? Well, we're just trying to protect the children. And well, you're destroying children's lives, and you're destroying families' lives, and all for what? I mean, it's just a way overreaction. It's like there's a smudge on the glass, so I get a hammer out and start smashing the glass. We don't have to smash the glass. That's not necessary to smash the glass. No, all we need to do is just breathe. Just breathe. You don't have to smash the glass. You could very, very simply and easily just wipe off the smudge. Or get a razor blade and scrape off the sticker. You don't have to date the guy. There's a problem with the refrigerator. Well, let's just throw it away. I mean, this radical, the Bible does talk about if your right hand offends you, cut it off. There is times to amputate, but that's pretty radical surgery. I mean, the guy who's stuck on the mountain in the middle of nowhere with no hope of anybody coming up, and he's gnawed his arm off. I mean, just to get free so he could get. That's pretty radical. That's pretty radical. That's not normal. So, yeah, are there people who are actually dangerous to the community? Yeah. They are in federal prison. They're on a watch list. They are with an ankle bracelet. They're felons. They're convicted of contact violations, of absolutely, violating someone physically and with contact and repeatedly. And, that's a different story than us at the other end down here. I mean, who are no contact, one time violation, involving a family member who just, this mother-in-law decided she wanted to take me out, and I kind of look back and I go, man, she really took me out. But I asked my uncle, who was around at that time, I said, no one ever dreamed that this would happen. It was supposed to just be a little old misdemeanor. It's just a little old misdemeanor. Don't you worry. It's just a little misdemeanor. Just a little hiccup. And now here I am, and I'm like, I'm going to get back to sleep. But I wanted you to have a little picture into my life. And I go back, and I even watch these videos too sometimes. I'll go back and go, wow. Tremaine Hawkins with her Going On Beyond Her song. I just saw that on the tube, and I was like, wow. That's when I was transitioning from Casa del Grain into the Casa La Victoria, and then amazing. God is good. The one consistent is just God is there, no matter what. And I can't wait to have time and be able to visit with you in person. And, I can't guarantee I'm going to buy you breakfast, but I'll do my best, and I can't wait to tell my story. I can't wait to stand up on a stage and tell tens of thousands of people what is going on, and alert people to what is going on with our society when they can take good people and just shred them. I mean, it's just, it's probably how they felt in Germany. Really, really good neighbors, good jewelers, good cleaners, good neighbors, good gardeners, good nannies, good moms and dads and neighbors. And the SS would come in and they'd put the symbol on the door, and they'd haul the family and have them get on the train or have them do the death march. And here in our country in World War II, they took all the people who were Japanese and just ship them off to a camp. I mean, the McCarthy era, where they destroyed people's lives by deciding that, oh, you're a communist, so we're going to, blacks, being black was considered a horrible sin, and if you were black, we're going to get you, we're going to get you, we're going to get you, and it's still happening. It's still happening. And so I'm not just saying this, but when I shake a black man's hand, I just feel such a connection. I feel as though I have this sense of I'm going through what you've been through, brother. And people who've suffered, there's a certain empathy. I met a really, really great guy who was on the UCLA team back in the 50s, and then he was in the movies, and his wife and him got married in 71, and I saw him there, and I just like, wow, Terrence. His name was Terrence Johnson, and what a great honor to meet that guy. And he was just so gentle and so sweet and so humble and yet strong, just strong guy, And seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up close, and I didn't shake his hand because I didn't want to bother him, but just a towering man, and all the people I've met, it's just, well, if you're a pastor, if you're not watching this video and you're wanting to help people, let us come to church. Let us come and worship God. Let us be part of the congregation. Yeah, we don't want to do children's ministry. I already talked about that. I'm not doing children's ministry. But, the thing is that just being part of the house of God, just greeting and, working and putting up lights and cleaning toilets, whatever it was to do, I mean, be glad to do it, but you've got to get over this whole hysteria. And all right, well, enough said, I guess. Give me a call. You got my number. If you don't have my number, go watch another video. It's on there, 2137-138-954. God bless. I'll talk to you soon. This is Bob.